Thank you. Honorable House Chair, honorable members, good afternoon. Firstly, let me thank the chair of the committee for providing the House with both reports being so succinctly. We really thank you, your stewardship. The constitutional mandate of the Auditor-General South Africa is to strengthen the democracy. And he executed this through the auditing and the reporting of all the national, local, provincial, and other sectors. Since the establishment of the Public Audit Act of 2004, we have seen our Auditor General, you know, the previous one and the one that is now in place, Ubabukimi, given us so much of the initiatives. There are several initiatives which has been given to ensure there is an acceptance and implementation of all its recommendations. The year 2016 and 17 integrated report has raised areas where audits and additional efforts yielded unsatisfactory results, characterized by waste of public money and lack of consequences for bad behavior, which sometimes lead to protest government's broken promises. The report also stated that the quality of financial statements in both the PFMA and the MFMA remains a challenge. 58 of the auditees, they were with the adverse or disclaim opinions. And these opinions, they seem to have a pattern of continuous. There is no improvement for the past 5 years. And the root cause of these undesirable outcomes was persistent weaknesses in the financial management controls. Now, if somebody says it sounds like the ANC, I'm sure it's because somebody doesn't understand the finance, because controls within the departments are it could be anybody official being employed. Yes, the material non-compliance with legislation in both the PFMA and MFMA audits remain high. The main contributor to the material non-compliance with legislation is relating to the supply chain management. Unauthorized, irregular, and fruitless wasteful expenditure continue to increase in both the PFMA and the MFMA audits. At the 5th National Policy Conference of the ANC, the Commission on Legislation and Governance made recommendations to the urgent need to review the Public Audit Act of 2004 to ensure that there are consequences for financial misconduct. This includes lack of follow-ups on fraud indicators, such as failure to investigate on irregular and fruitless expenditure. On performance audit, report indicate that there is instability or vacancies in key positions lacking competency and inadequate consequences for poor performance and transgressions. ANC acknowledged the effort carried by the Standing Committee on Auditor General, the Committee Secretariat, and the Parliament legal team to process the amendments of the Public Audit Act. The 2018-2021 draft strategy plan and budget, there are key issues and some general issues. The key issue being the statutory issues and where the Auditor General of South Africa has to appoint the external audits. I am not going to dwell much more because on that issue because some of my colleagues, they've actually highlighted on those external audits and and audit firms. But however, as we speak right now, the Auditor General has appointed a new firm of external auditors, so they have achieved that. And also, what the committee has recommended was that the Auditor General needs to now and again communicate with the Treasury regarding the model that can be used to fund the municipalities which are unable to generate their own revenues due to geographical problems or historical problems. These are the municipalities like where I come from Ebulwa, where that municipality cannot generate its own revenues, but at the end of the day, it has to be audited and they have to pay the auditor, and they're unable to do that. And then the other things that we also look at, the committee noted that since we have been engaged with the Auditor General, we have seen that there is the surplus, and this surplus, we agreed that it can be retained by the Auditor General because of the Act. However, we have requested the Auditor General to ensure that a definitive plan is given to the committee, which is still outstanding. We haven't received that, but we hope that is going to be submitted to the committee. But other than that, I'd like to take this opportunity as the ANC to thank all the members within the committee that through their participation, which was positive. I thank you.